Welcome everyone. If you are anything like me, then you have been watching updates on Sarah Boone and her appeal. She wrote the Orange County Clerk of Court inquiring about her appellate lawyer since she found it curious that she has not heard from him yet. And the clerk sent her a response that no notice of appeal has been filed. I don't think Sarah is in receipt of the mailed response yet, since the court put it in the mail, but she could have been checking the docket online. So I decided to take a closer look at the docket and the most recent filings. So I just started looking at the details on the docket. I noticed here that the status says on appeal, and Judge Kranick is still listed as the judge, and by attorney it has Joshua Adams listed. And on the docket listings, we have an order appointing appellate counsel on December 18th, 2024, followed by a newly added notice of appeal, same date, with comments added, received by clerk January 31st, 2025, over a month later. Then Sarah Boone sent a notice of inquiry she mailed on January 21st of this year, 2025, and it was received on the 27th by the court. And the court sent a response to her inquiry on January 29th. So let's take a detailed look at each document. All right, so here is the first appeal attorney appointed, which we know is no longer working in appeals. I do have a sneaking suspicion that every attorney in Orange County has been preparing their excuses and lining up their reasons for why they will not be working with Sarah Boone. If any of them have any kind of legitimate reason, I'm sure that they have it prepared for this very moment if they were to receive this email. I'm sure she is very well known in the attorney world in Orange County because I'm sure they talk to each other and I'm sure they watched this trial. But you can see that the trial clerk emailed the operations assistant manager, and these emails were sent and filed in the docket on December 2nd, the day she was sentenced in 24, asking who was the next appeals attorney, and it was Alan Holland. Okay, and if you notice here, this document filed on December 23rd says in the 9th Circuit Court and for Orange County, Florida. This is her affidavit of insolvency for purpose of appeal. Basically, this just says, you can pause and read it, but it basically just says she has no money or assets. If she does come into any money or assets at any time, that the public defender can put a lien on that property. But this was also signed on the 2nd. And then if you see down here, they ordered a public defender of the 9th Judicial Circuit, court appointing counsel Alan Holland, hereby appointed as counsel to represent the defendant in the appeal. And that was signed by Judge Kranick. Okay, and then we have filed on December 18th, 9th Judicial Circuit, the order appointing appellate counsel. This matter is before the court on this 18th day of December, 2024, for the court to appoint appellate counsel. Based on the foregoing, it is hereby ordered and adjudged that Alan Holland Esquire is relieved from further representation of the defendant, and also he is relieved by sighing relief, I'm sure, in the above styled cause, and Joshua Adams Esquire is hereby appointed to represent the defendant in this cause, done and ordered in chambers at Orlando, Orange County, Florida, this 18th day of December by Judge Kranick, and we have certificate of service, the Office of the State Attorney, Division 20. Also, Alan Holland got a copy, and Joshua Adams got a copy, and good old SB through the U.S. mail got her copy. Okay, and we see here that on the 27th, this was filed, and that it was provided to Lowell Reception Center, Correctional Institution, on January 25th. And here's Sarah's initials that she gave it to them for mailing. So they have a nifty little stamp with the date of the mail being received to put in the mail, which Orange County did not have that. I just thought that was interesting. Notice of inquiry comes now Sarah Boone pro se and files this notice of inquiry with the clerk of the circuit court in the above referenced case number, inquiring as to the status of appointment of appellate counsel. The last entry on the docket in this case shows that Joshua Adams Esquire was appointed to represent the defendant on December 18th, 2024. However, she has not received any correspondence from him, and her application of indigence to be appointed an appellate attorney was not filed with this court until December 23rd, 2024. Please advise as to appointed appellate counsel in the aforementioned case dated this 20th day of January 2025. Respectfully submitted, Sarah Boone. New Department of Corrections number here, Florida Women's Reception Center in Ocala. Certificate of Service. I hereby certify that a true and correct copy of the foregoing motion has been furnished by U.S. mail postage prepaid to Orange County Clerk of Court in Orlando, and she CC'd 6th District Court of Appeal in Lakeland on the 20th day of January, Sarah Boone. And then she included this copy we just went over of the order appointing appellate counsel. So that means she has a copy of this, has access to it. And down here, it has her attorney's contact information. So she does have access to that. And I guarantee she has already emailed him. I do not blame her for advocating for herself and making sure that all of this is filed properly, because I know there's a 30-day deadline that she had to file the appeal, but we all know that that is not the only reason she is inquiring about that, because she wants to know, where is my lawyer and why are they not communicating with me? And from a lot of the comments I've read on most videos I've watched, appellate lawyers don't really contact the client that much. And they mostly just deal directly with the court minutes. They go over the entire case. They might watch it since this one was recorded, read the court minutes, things like that, look over the specific, they might talk to Mr. Owens, look over specific things they want looked at in the appeal, which they already filed. And for the envelope here, I like to look at the envelopes. I like to look at all the details. I'm a very detail-oriented person. I feel like you can learn a lot when you're paying attention. So her mail goes from Ocala to Jacksonville Distribution Center before it gets sent back to Orlando. So you see it was mailed on the 21st, but they did not receive it until, or process it until the 27th. So it does take almost a week for her mail to arrive. And I also noticed this stamp, it's kind of upside down, but mail originated in a state correctional institution. So I wonder if they have to put that on all the envelopes they send out. That's interesting, because that stamp also was not on the county jail mail that she sent out. And finally, we have the Clerk of Court's response to Sarah Boone's inquiry that she filed. This was filed in the docket on January 29th, and it's very short and to the point. They wrote it on the 29th, they filed it on the 29th, they mailed it to Sarah Boone at her Women's Reception Center in Ocala, and it just states, in response to your correspondence dated 1/21/25, the following applied. Other. Attorney Joshua Adams has been appointed to represent you for an appeal. However, at this time, no notice of appeal is on file. And here we have some of the answers to what we have been wondering, why don't they have a notice of appeal on file? Where did it go? Who dropped the ball? What happened? Here are a few of those answers. So this was filed on 12/18/24, but remember on the docket it said e-filed 12/18, but received by the clerk January 31st, which would have been after they sent that response to Sarah. Now, hopefully, I don't know how often Sarah can log in to the internet, check the docket, like if they have daily computer time, weekly computer time. I'm not sure how that works. So I don't know. Obviously, she probably has not received the mail correspondence, since we see that it goes to Jacksonville Distribution Center and then to Ocala. So like it went from Ocala to Jacksonville to Orlando, so it's probably going to go in reverse back to Sarah. But she may have been able to go in and see the update on the docket, depending on when her technology is accessible to her. So, she was fuming if and when she saw the clerk's very short, to the point response of, I don't have an appeal on file. And if she had access to call James Owens, I am certain that she did that. She probably got right on the phone with him. If she can email, she probably emailed him. It seems like the prison is allowing, she has access to typing on a word processing. She has access to the docket, whereas at the jail she was complaining she could not see those things even while she was representing herself. So it seems like they have a little bit more flexibility with accessing things at the prison, which I'm sure Sarah is very happy about. But anyway, if she looked at it and saw no appeal and the response from the clerk, I'm sure she got right on the phone with Owens. What happened to my appeal? Where is it? We're past the deadline. I would be freaking out. I'm sure that Sarah Boone was freaking out on another level. So then suddenly this appeared on the 31st, 2 days after the clerk posted the response to the docket. So in the Circuit Court of the 9th Judicial Circuit in Fort Orange County, Florida, notice of appeal. Notice is hereby given that the defendant appellant, Sarah Boone, appeals to the District Court of Appeal, 9th District of Florida, the judgment and sentence of this court on December 2nd, 2024, by the Honorable Michael Cranick. All parties of said cause are called upon to take notice of this appeal. And that's basically all the appeal states. It's just saying this is a notice that we are appealing. That's all. And I think that's as far as Owens will get involved, unless her appellate attorney needs to contact him for any questions. And then he has the certificate of service. So this was very interesting. He did not send this to the Orange County Clerk of Court. So here's his certificate of service. Notice it says, I hereby certify that a copy of this notice of appeal has been furnished by e-service, email, e-portal delivery to the Office of the State Attorney, Division 20, 415 North Orange Avenue, Orlando, Florida. Ashley Moody, Attorney General, State of Florida, the capital. So he sent to the Attorney General and the Office of the State Attorney. And, of course, via U.S. That should be mail, but it says my tie to Sarah Boone at her Florida Department of Corrections P.O. Box in Orlando. And I guess she still hadn't been transported at that time. I don't remember. I think she didn't get transported till later on in the month. On the 18th day of December, and he signed it with his information there, James Owens. So that would be why the clerk of court did not have an appeal on file, I would assume. And then I think Sarah Boone got right involved with Mr. Owens, whatever method she had access to contact him by, and he made sure to provide this copy to the Orange County Clerk of Court as well. So I think that solves a little bit of the mystery as to why she was confused, why the clerk did not have a copy of the appeal on file, why Sarah was inquiring. I don't think her attorney, she probably has emailed him and mailed U.S. mail to him, I would assume, and has a list of dates and times that she has attempted to contact him so that she can try to say, look, my attorney's not contacting me, and here we go again, just like Bankowitz, and I'm going to document this, and I'm going to report to whoever, Attorney General Ashley Moody or whoever will listen, because she has all of these people's contact information in these orders that are on the docket, so she can just write them as much as she wants. Not that they have to read them, but I'm sure that she's already trying to kind of allude to the fact that, this attorney is not working out for me. And I don't think any of us are shocked by that. So let me know what you guys think about Sarah Boone's appeal debacle that we are already seeing unravel. Her getting assigned to Lowell. And how do you think this appeal is going to go? Do you think that we're going to get more letters from Sarah to... We probably won't have any access to letters she sent directly to the attorney, but hopefully we will continue to be able to see things on the docket and kind of see how this plays out. I don't expect her appeal to move quickly, especially not as quickly as she might be expecting. I do think it's reasonable that she did follow up on her own behalf to make sure everything was filed and she had an attorney assigned and all of that, of course, just to make sure the ball was rolling. That is reasonable, but I don't think that's going to be the last we hear from Sarah, because we all know that she is not a reasonable person and that she will not be patient through this process. So it looks like we might get to see more correspondence from Sarah. And like we remember from her previous letters, they started out kind of demure and they escalated as she was not getting her way into more and more condescending tone. So this one was a very professionally written by her, but we'll see if that tone remains as she continues to not get her way. Because nobody ever gets their way 100% of the time, and we have to, especially when there's government involved, filing and all the red tape that the legal process can be, it can be a headache. So I'm sure we're going to hear some complaining. So thanks for watching the video. Stay tuned for more updates. Like and subscribe.